Hello everyone. Now, like a lot of us, I think I've probably rewatched the Endwalker job action trailer 50 or 60 times, perhaps 70, maybe even 80, and I feel like I'm pretty confident that I've been able to figure out all of the new Astrologian mechanics, or at least most of them. Now, I'm sure I'm not the first one to crack the code, but I haven't seen another Astrologian specific video, and it is my main job, so I thought, why not? Now, first, a disclaimer. I have really bad allergies right now and a extremely talkative cat, so sorry in advance if I have to mute my mic to cough or if my cat decides to say hello during this. Now, right away, let's get into it. I want to talk about something they were really transparent about. Now, they were extremely vague during the Astro section of the live letter, but one thing they did not mince their words on was redraw. Currently, redraw is just a 3-charge ability. It will not have a charge system in Endwalker. Instead, every time you draw a card, you can also redraw that card before you use it. So that's 1 redraw per card. Personally, I'm not a big fan of this, but it's really too soon to see how strongly this will impact gameplay. So let's get into it. Real quick, let's take a look at the abilities that are just upgrades from existing abilities. They will likely not really change functionally. I want to stress to anyone who might be new to 14 expansions, these are not really new abilities per se. They're just an upgraded version with a new animation. This is the way Glare replaces Stone 4 for White Mage, or the way Malefic 4 replaces Malefic 3. These are not like how as a Black Mage you have access to Fire 1, 2, and 3, all as separate abilities. So starting at the 10-second mark, we're going to see one after the other, a new dot, followed by the use of balance, followed by a single target DPS cast. So as you saw, new animations for the dot and the single target DPS cast. These will probably be Combust 3 and Malefic 5, if not a new name. Either way, same function, nothing really new. Now, if we go to the 36-second mark, we're going to have what is likely Gravity 2. They may have actually said we're getting Gravity 2 at the live letter. I don't really remember. I had a lot of alcohol that night, as I hope a lot of us did. And we did specifically hear we're getting Holy 2, and in the Scholar Job action trailer, we saw Art of War 2. So obviously all healer jobs are getting an upgraded version of their former AoE abilities. Now, this is one of the Astro changes that they were really vague about. The devs said they wanted to add something to Gravity and had considered a stun, but ultimately felt like that was part of Holy's identity. So, as a spell, I feel like a heavy effect would make sense for Gravity thematically. I really hope it's not a heavy, because could you imagine doing a 4-man dungeon, your tank's trying to do a wall-to-wall pull, and right at the start of it, you cast Gravity 2, and suddenly the first half of that pull is just lagging several halls behind the rest of it. That would be really annoying for the DPS and the tanks, so hopefully it's not a heavy. An AoE slow would be nice, but that might be a little overpowered. We'll see. But let's go ahead and look at Gravity 2. Really cool animation. Let's keep it moving though and get onto the more significant changes. Alright, so at 7 seconds, right near the start of the video, let me just get there, we see the animation for divination. But as you see, the Astro does not even have 3 seals. As it currently exists, you need 3 seals to even cast divination. So during the live letter, the devs said seals will no longer matter for divination. So let's go ahead and watch the divination use. Alright, as you saw, only 1 seal, which was not consumed. Divination still AoE. Let's go ahead and watch that again. Alright, super simple. Now the devs did say that seals will no longer matter for divination, and I am seeing so much conversation online from people saying that they interpreted that as seals will no longer matter at all, and I'm here to say I do not think that's the case. If that were the case, seals would just not be in the game. Seals will still matter 1000%. Now, what I think they're going to matter for is purely speculative. We don't know anything yet, hopefully soon, with the media tour coming. But let's go to the ability that consumes the seals, and that's this new single target ability. Alright, so as you saw, the seals were there, and now they're not. Now, in this video, the Astro does use the buff on themselves, not the Reaper. So this might just be a self-cast buff. It might be a single target buff, and the person choreographing the video just didn't think to have the Astro use it on the Reaper. I really wish they would have been more clear about that, but let's watch that again. Once again, you're going to see that all 3 seals are consumed. Now, if this is a self buff, I have a theory about what it does. We will get back to that later, though. For now, I want to just further elaborate on the do seals matter argument. Here at 21 seconds, you see the Astrologian has 2 different seals, and they've drawn a balance for a seal they already have. The Astro is going to redraw to make sure they get a moon seal. So I don't see why the Astro would have done that if having 3 seals didn't matter. I just can't stress enough. There's no way that seals simply won't matter in Endwalker. So on to the next significant change that I feel pretty confident about, and that's the changes to Minor Arcana. Once again, they were very vague about this in the live letter. They simply said Minor Arcana is changing, and they said, or I believe they said, I might have forgotten, again, there were some drinks, but I believe they said that Astro was getting an equivalent to White Mage's Assize. Now, from what we've seen so far, I believe each of the 2 Minor Arcana will function as a half of White Mage's Assize. So first and foremost, here at the 28-second mark, we see that Minor Arcana is a separate ability from Draw. The Astro has a new ability that just draws Minor Arcana. Let's watch that. See, that was a new animation, and now they have a Minor Arcana without another card. So they are completely separate now. The Astro in this video also starts with a Minor Arcana already drawn, so we really can't gauge how long the cooldown is for this new draw ability. Now, as for the effect of the cards, as I said before, I think they're each a different half of Assize. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, Assize, if you know or if you don't know, it's an instant cast OGCD AoE around the White Mage that is both a heal and a damage ability. So we'll go here to 18 seconds, and you see the Astro has Lord of Crowns already drawn. Now I want you to watch very closely to the enemy and the Reaper. The Astro is going to use Lord of Crowns, and it's going to hit the enemy. You'll see the enemy flinch, but there's no healing particles around the Reaper. Let's go ahead and watch that again. And can I slow this down? Damn, look how professional this is. Alright, so 18 seconds. Alright, so as you saw, the enemy clearly got hit by something. The Reaper did not get a heal. It's a little hard to see because the earthly star's right here, but, unfortunately that's the way they choreographed this video. They wanted us to see earthly star, which has already been in the game for a while now. Okay, so now at 30 seconds, we're going to see the use of Lady of Crowns. Alright, I'm going to turn down the speed again, and I want you to, once again, watch the enemy and the Reaper. When Lady of Crowns is used, the enemy does not flinch, it does not take damage, but there is a small healing effect, a little particle right about here on the Reaper. Did you see that right here? Let's go ahead and watch that again. So what I think is that, like how Assize is both a heal and a damage ability, Lord of Crowns is the damage, Lady of Crowns is the heal. Now hopefully this Minor Arcana draw has a lower cooldown than White Mage's Assize, since it's only half the effect. Maybe Assize has a 45-second cooldown and Minor Arcana will have 30. Especially because there is some RNG to it. It may also be the case that there's really not RNG, and every time you do Minor Arcana draw, you're guaranteed to have the opposite card from what you had last time, or maybe it's a stronger heal potency and a stronger damage potency. Only time will tell, but I really doubt it's the exact same potency, damage, and heal, and the same cooldown as the size, since it only does, half and half of the effects of a size, it wouldn't make sense for it to be the same potency and same cooldown. There has to be something to offset the fact that you're only getting half the effect. Now, onto the stuff that I'm really more speculative about. I'm not too sure about these, but we're going to start with probably the most exciting ability from the Astro Job action trailer. That is the Star Shower and or Comet, if they want to keep a name from a past Final Fantasy game. So let's go ahead and watch this. You're going to see no healing effect on the Reaper, but the enemy here does flinch. Alright, did you see that? Now, my personal theory, and this is one of the more speculative things that I think, is that this is why you get 3 seals. Maybe when you get one of each seal, you unlock a self buff, and maybe that's not a single target buff, maybe it's just on yourself, and that gives you a charge of Comet or Star Shower. This could be sort of equivalent to how white mages need their 3 lilies to use their big Afflatus Misery, or whatever it's called. I think that would be a really interesting mechanic for Astro. Give them an instant cast ability that they can save to move, or save to use while moving, rather. Let's go ahead and watch that again. Now, this is also a huge radius on this ability, so I do think there has to be some build up to it. It might just be a long cooldown, like 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes, but I think it's more likely that there's a gameplay element behind this. I do think that you need to have 3 different seals to unlock a single charge of Star Shower, especially due to the fact that you don't see this ability until after the single target buff is used. I think this would really be a good idea because they've really dumbed down healer DPS in Shadowbringers. They kind of ruined healer DPS, to be honest, with every job having 1 dot, 1 single target ability, and that's really it, with the exception of White Mage's Afflatus Misery, which isn't that interesting gameplay-wise either. You just press it when you have it. Alright, so now on to the ability that I'm the least sure about, which is this new single target healing or shield ability. On the subject of heals, that's another thing that I think people have really misunderstood. Yes, Astro is going to be classified as a pure healer. That doesn't mean there's not going to be a shield. There is still 4-man content with tank busters. There's still 8-man content where each tank, is going to take a tank buster. It makes sense for every healer to have at least 1 shield. So here you see the Astrologian use this heal or shield ability on the Reaper. After a delay, the Astro activates it again, and it looks like it might be a heal on the target and the ass at that point, with maybe some AoE particles around it. Let's go ahead and watch. So there's the single target, bomb explodes, and then the Astro activates it again, and then there's an effect on the Reaper and the Astro with these swirls around it. This could be a reworked Sinistry. Sinistry in its current state is a really cool idea, but it is just so useless because it only works on spells and not abilities. So this could be a really neat way to rework Sinistry while still having the general vibe of the ability. These little swirls around make it very hard for me to believe this ability has no AoE effect to it. It could be single target, but just the size of the radius of this really makes me think it has to have some sort of AoE properties. So let's go ahead and watch that last ability one more time. Alright, so that's everything. So what do you think of the Astrologian changes? Do you think I'm spot on? Do you think there's a different theory you might have? Is there something super evident, right in my face, blatant as heck that I missed? Let me know in the comments below, and if you did like the video, please feel free to like and subscribe. I may make more 14 content in the future. You can also follow me on Twitch at Overnight Siren, but that is all I have for today. Super excited for Endwalker. This video really confirmed that I'm definitely still going to main Astro. I just think they have the best looking abilities in the game, and that is my professional opinion on the matter. And that's all I have for you. Have a nice day, everybody.